A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel, the Twinflame Union. And in this channeling session, there is a message, or you can say it's a lesson. So what is the difference between the lesson and channeling session? Lesson is something that both divine masculine and divine feminine have already learned. So that type of a channeling is called a lesson channeling. And this happens obviously to someone or the other, but most of the times it happens to a lot of people at the same time, and that is the reason why the energy is raised on earth, the overall energy of earth. So the message is, or the lesson is, surrender takes you to the union. And this is specifically for all those people who are in the final stages of the journey, or also those who are done with the runner-chaser dynamic. Like in their heart, in their mind, in their soul, they just can't do it anymore. They just cannot chase the DM anymore. They cannot, contact them anymore. Like from their own side or from their own heart, that feeling does not come. And they just want to let it go because they're tired of the runner chaser. They're tired of, coming and going, hot and cold behavior. They don't want it anymore. So the next thing to do is, for some people, it should automatically happen, because once you get tired of things that serve no purpose, only then you would be taking steps or actions which would be directed to something substantial. However, even though surrender is one of the stages that actually take you to union, because radiance, the stage after that, is more like the feminine is just glowing. She's just radiant. Her positive energy can be seen by everyone, even the narcissistic people, or even those people who have painted her black or dark or negative or whatever. Her qualities will no longer be hidden, and she will get proof on it. But why is radiance also important is because when you get the radiance, when you get to the radiance stage, there is a big danger of feeling superiority complex. Because, everybody is praising you, everybody wants you, even the people who were gone from your life, maybe your friends or colleagues or some people in the neighborhood, all those people who have wronged you basically. So many people have wronged her, right, in the past. So when such people, even ex-lovers, they would come back and either say sorry, or they would just feel bad that they hurt her in the past. It's not necessary that they're all gonna ask her out, but they can always get back to her and always say that, you are a really nice person and I missed out on you. It wasn't really your fault. It was just misunderstandings, or just the situation, or just the people around. But they are going to come to her with a changed perception about her. That is what happens in the radiant stage. But the radiant stage is equally one of the stages, and a very important stage, because on a daily basis you would have to check yourself, like, am I feeling superior? Am I getting attached with my identity or not? Am I becoming a person who's all about herself? So that is one of the reason why it's important to be checked. But overall, radiance is validation from the universe, though you don't need validation, and that's the reason why you will get it. When you don't need something, that's the time you actually get it. It's the universe way of telling you that, you are not as bad as how people have painted you. Or you don't really have to be so good all the time. You don't have to please the world all the time. You just have to be neutral, because when you're neutral, when you're in the center of everything, like in the center, that's the time people can actually see you for who you are. And surrender will lead you to radiance, it will lead you to harmonization, it will lead you to the union, because it is the only stage, surrender is the only stage that will teach you how to harmonize, how to be radiant, how to always be in union energies, how to be integrated with source. One of the biggest thing to do, how to do it, is to let go. Let go of whatever you don't need. Give it away to someone who needs it. There are so many people who are looking for drama. Tell them, okay, you are the one who, but I'm not going to keep it. It's not going to be in my kitty. You're not even going to entertain people who are going to put you into those dramatic situations, those dark situations, negative situations. You will find some way or the other to just slide out of it, or just, move out of it somehow. And that's the only way to go about it. Surrender is also the stage which is like, it is challenging, of course, but it also comes with a lot of rewards, a lot of perks, because you literally learn how to live your life after this. And even though I'm going to talk so much about surrender, but it is you individually who has to actually reach to that point where you can surrender, when you are willing to surrender, when you're willing to jump from the edge. Because you know that even though you jump from the edge, or even if someone pushed you from the edge, you're going to fly. You're not going to fall, you're going to fly. That is the leap of faith surrender is all about. Now, who has to do this work? Of course, the twin who is awakened, and the twin who was chasing, or the twin who feels this separation is so bad, it's like a punishment which was put on to you by whosoever it is. Now, I know that some of you are playing the divine masculine's role, so you're running. Some of you are playing the feminine's role, so you're chasing. But it is very strange, because in the past few days, via readings or via therapies, I came across people who are in the divine masculine energy, so they are running away from the person, yet they think that they are the divine feminine, and yet they think that they don't want to do this twin flame journey. They don't want to be a part of it. They don't want to be a party to it. So a lot of their traits and characteristics, like they probably could be borderline NPDs, and they might even know about it. They could be aware about it as well. But they just want to run away from it. They just don't want to do anything about it. And they feel that they are a divine feminine. So there is a confusion with a lot of people. So who needs to surrender? It is the person who considers themselves to be an awakened one, because in your opinion, you could be the awakened one as well. And what is exactly do you have to surrender? You have to surrender all the negativity, all the bad feelings, whether you have it for your DM or you have it for your DF. You have to understand everything clearly and look at the bigger picture. So most of the times, people who are doing the research work or the spiritual side of work, divine feminines, they would be the ones to take on to surrender. Now, a lot of you would actually be thinking, how do I know it's time to surrender? Like, individually, personally, on the journey. So you have to realize that when nothing seems to work, like you feel that you've done everything, but you're not in union, you don't feel the union energies, because the union energies happen in your mind first, within you. And you always know when you're in union energies, you always feel it, because you feel much better, more detached, you feel more positive. You have a different type of energy. You're a completely new person than who you used to be. And you no longer care about the outcome of your relationship with the divine masculine. You have literally no worries about it. You don't give a rat's ass, if I have to say it candidly. So, first of all, you should have been in the place where you've done everything, like chasing, calling, messaging, stalking, whatever initiatives you made, writing emails, sending flowers, showing up at their workplace, or whatever. And every time you did anything, you were treated really badly, you were insulted. And after a certain point in time, you will realize that no matter what you do, it's not going to be fixed like this, at least. Like, for example, some of you have been in separation for a long time. It's been 2 years or 3 years. According to you, it's been a pretty good time. And you thought let me contact him. So you dropped a message, or you made a phone call, or you did something. Or you just met them somewhere. You knew that they're going to come to this place, so you met them. And you feel that it is you who actually forgave them for doing all the bad things to you. It should be the other way around actually, but it's you who forgave them, and it's you who again contacted them. It's you who were like a person who is more patient and, things like that. In some cases, you tell the twin how much you still love them, like it's been 5 years or 4 years of separation or 2 years, but you still love them so much, and there you are, or some kind of confession is made. So there are certain actually scenarios that will play out when you do this contact. Number one, maybe the twin is very happy. He wants to be like, oh yeah, that's nice. I was actually thinking about you and I'm happy you contacted me. Now let me finish it. It can also go into two separate directions. One is that they will be nice at that point in time, like whether you're on the phone or you're on the message, but physically they will not connect with you. Like they would not want to meet you, they would not want to hang out with you, or they will not even keep in touch for that long. Maybe for a few days, 4-5 days, a week, 10 days max. Or if it goes on for a little longer than a couple of months. But they will be doing the same thing after that. And I have many people's testimonies who have told me that, after 2 years, we got back again. I thought we were in union. Everything was going fine. We talked, we even met, and, it was like perfect. And again, he's gone. Again, he's vanished. Again, he's running away. Like, what the hell is this? I just don't know what to say. He also told me that he loves me, and I also told him that I love you and things like that. But then I asked them the crucial question, but did you initiate contact? Did you go up to them? Or even if, sometimes the contact or communication is very spontaneous, but you should not have any role play in that, like you've tricked the universe. You think you can trick the universe. You can, take a shortcut, or you can just be like, so what? We haven't spoken for so long. I'm sure he'll be nice to me. And I am also speaking of certain cases that are also channeled to me. And that's how I resonate with those cases. So obviously you feel like, this is definitely going to work out, and then it's back to the same thing. Why? Because you initiating contact means that you don't have faith and belief in the universe. You don't think that it can happen on its own as well. Or maybe you say send them a friend request and they accepted it also. And then don't do anything about it. Just let it be. Don't talk to them. Don't message them. Now, I know there are certain people who have also said that, yes, I did initiate contact and I went up to them. But actually, those people will also tell you that it also felt very spontaneous. It wasn't like that I was thinking about it or I was doing something. Something happened and we just got talking. But it is not like they had to initiate the contact. Maybe, they were sending some messages that went to everyone. Now, a lot of people are actually confused about the difference between surrendering and giving up on the relationship or the love you have for that person. Actually, surrendering does not mean that you give up on them. Surrendering simply means that you let the divine do everything. You don't have any control. When you give up on something, you think in your head that it can never work out. It will never happen. It will never happen the way I want it to happen, or whatever. The relationship is impossible to, recover it, or this other person will not forgive me, etc., etc. So you just feel that there is no future possibility with this person. However, surrendering is more like you have faith, it will work out, everything will be fine, you will stay positive. You'll be like, yeah, okay, fine, we had fights, or we had this long separation, or he went to someone else, or whatever it is. But he will come back to me. And during that time, when you actually surrender, this time you're not chasing, you're not like going after it. This time you're like, it will happen. And I don't care whether you don't say that whether it happens or not. You just say that I know it will happen, but I don't care how it will happen. I don't care when, why, how, what, the 5 W's and 1 H. You won't have all of those questions anymore. You'll be like, whatever it is, I'm going to chill. And that's the change that happens when you get into a 5D union. But then surrender is a step-by-step process. It doesn't happen in one day. That much I can tell you by my own experience as well. It happens one by one. Gradually, you'll be in a place where you have fully surrendered. But even when it's the first day of surrender, when you've actually literally decided that that's it, I'm not going to do anything human. I'm not going to make any efforts. I'm not going to write those mails or messages. I'm not going to try to convince anyone. I will not do anything whatsoever which is logically driven. Or, like how divine feminines, though they say that when divine feminines should become more logical and practical. No. When divine feminines chase, they don't act out of logic and practicality. They actually act out of emotions, oversensitivity. And the real logic and the real practicality, actually, a lot of people don't know what science is. They have given a certain name to science, like science is a subject or it's a terminology. But actually, the real science, if you actually learn the science on how the universe works, how nature works, how human life works, you'll realize that nature is the science actually that we need to learn. And as per the natural science, you should not take control, or you should not be so controlling. Whether you're controlling others or whether you're controlling yourself, it's still, you're exerting control. You're not letting go. And then what happens is that when you're not letting go, your mind is always going to be occupied with useless things, like you'll be doing this, you'll be doing that. You'll be constantly thinking about the DM, you won't be excited in life, you would be so depressed, you'll be always feeling like you're in a dark night of the soul, it never really ends. Now some of you would also think that, how long should you wait? Like how long is this gonna go? Or am I stupid that I am the one always waiting? I'm the one, like in the past you always would initiate contact, or you would, forget about it first, or you'd like to give them a chance. So you're actually thinking that I've always been doing this, and now it's me who has to wait for this person patiently. For a person who probably doesn't even care about me, he doesn't bother, or he doesn't know because he's not spoken to me. Like, should I really do this? See, these are also questions that come from a place where you don't surrender at all, because you are questioning it too much. You just should know one thing, that you do feel a little bit different for this person. You know that this is the person you want to spend your life with. You know that there is some kind of magical connection between you and him. And you also know that he feels it too. But you don't want to be a person who's suffering from erotomania, because erotomania is a mental disorder where a person is actually assuming that somebody loves them. And this happens to a lot of people who follow celebrities, and they fall in love with them, and then they imagine that the celebrity also loves them back. There's actually no practical or valid or real life, there's nothing to validate that this person, this celebrity or this crush of yours or this whosoever it is loves you back the same way. That those people who suffer from erotomania, they actually just keep imagining in their heads. In India also there's an actress who suffers from this disease, erotomania, probably. And because of that, she's actually imagined a whole relationship with the person which never actually happened, never really existed. That is a mental disorder. But this, having faith, when you have faith, you know that something did happen between you and your divine masculine. Like you did meet, or you did have a relationship with him. Like there was something. Maybe you went out on dates and he sort of made you feel loved. He gave you a kiss on your forehead and he said that he really likes you, he really loves you. And then after some time, suddenly you see that he's married to someone else, or he's dating someone else, or he's committed to someone else. The divine feminines normally don't get hurt if he's talking to someone, if he's flirting around or whatever it is. they get hurt when he commits to someone, because this man has not committed to her fully. Even in the runner-chaser dynamic, sometimes it happens that DM comes back and then he commits to her. He says, yeah, you're my girlfriend. I'm going to change my relationship status on Facebook or whatever it is. And then you see that he's again hidden it back, or he's mentioned single again, or he's, it's just that he's not tagged you on it. He's tagged nobody. It's just like a random vague thing. Or maybe, he says that I love you and he puts a picture with you and him. And few days later you see that the picture is gone. He's probably hidden it. It's no longer there. Something or the other, Another thing why surrender is very hard for people is because they feel that if they surrender, they'll actually lose out on that person. Like if I tell people, don't think about your divine masculine, they say, oh, if I don't think about him, isn't it like when I think about him, he thinks about me? I'm like, no, it's actually the opposite. When you think about him, they are not going to think about you at all. They're going to run away from you. So don't think about them. Or there are some people who've said that I confessed love to him after all this while that we hadn't spoken. Isn't that what true love is all about? Don't you think in true love we must tell them what we really feel and we should not play any games with them and this and that? True love also tells you that you should be a logical person who has some common sense. Like you just contacting someone after 5 years or 6 years, and in the same call or in the same breath, you're literally telling that person how much you miss them, how much you love them, how much you feel this, how much you feel that, this, that, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. You have to be, as I said, scientific for real. Like nature does not also function like this. Because all this while you took away the control from the divine, who's actually the doer. Some of the people even think that, if I'm not going to do anything about it, like if I'm not going to talk to them or explain to them or do something physical, then how is it going to work? That's because your mental powers are much stronger than your physical powers. You can do so much with your mind power, and this is the reason why when you're in negative thinking or you are like constantly thinking about negative what ifs, you see those things start happening in your life without you even doing anything. But when you get into positive what ifs or positive thinking, or when you're like optimistic, you don't care about certain things, you let God decide whatever's going to happen, automatically things change and you start feeling better, because it all starts changing when you start feeling better. If you're not going to feel better about that situation, if you're not going to be in those energies that, yeah, it's going to work out fine, it's going to happen. Or, like mentally somebody says something to you and you start squirming in anger, you start having dialogues with them, you start, having verbal fights with them. You're in a different type of energy at that point in time. You're giving them the power. You're giving them so much power. So even if they do something, even if they take actions, or even if they verbally say something, your best gift is to not react to it. Your best gift is just ignore it simply. You want your divine masculine to come back to you, to love you, to be with you, to respect you, to cherish you. All you have to do is let go the neediness for it. Let go the thought that I have to do something to make it happen. You don't have to do anything, honestly. Like if you're on the ascension journey, I don't think I even need to convince anyone so much, or I even need to explain so much. Whatever I am saying should make sense to you by now. And as I said, these channelings are very important channelings. These are special channelings because these are about lessons, and these are very important lessons in the twin flame journey. And I know that these lessons are being shared, they are being relayed, because some parts of the world, somewhere, somehow, there are some intelligent, wise, divine feminines who are contemplating surrender, and some of them have even surrendered. They have taken the plunge into it. So I know that this is happening to a lot of people, and if it's not happening to you and you're still listening to this, it means it will happen to you. And especially because if you're in the twin flame journey, you're frustrated, you don't know what to do, you don't know what's happening to you, this is the best thing to do. Just drop everything right now and just chill and let universe take care of everything. This also means that you should not be making a map or a chart like how I said, 5 W's and 1 H. Or those type of questions you should not have. Also, you should not put some kind of a timeline to it. Like a lot of people come to me for readings and they ask me, so can you tell me when will my union happen? What if the cards say like 5 years or 4 years? And if I tell them that, they're going to freak out, you know. But as a reader, even I have to be very honest. Sometimes I say things honestly and they get very heartbroken, but I also give them the tips and, you know, techniques on how to make it work better in their favor, or how to, you know, not let negativity or dark energies work on you. So you also have to figure out that you have to get out of the boundaries set, or the boundaries is not the right word here, limitations set by the society. Like somebody tells you, like your mother tells you, hey, you know what, you're 27 years old now, you gotta get married. Or if 27 is too early, maybe you're 35 and you haven't yet gotten married, and your family is like, you should get married, you should now. So you tell your parents somehow, or your family, that give me 1 more year. And you're thinking, by 1 year, I should get into the union with my twin. First of all, if other people are deciding for you, and if they tell you that you have to do it by this age, by this time, by this month, or this week, or whatever, then you are still living in a lack and limitation consciousness, because you're not even, you know, you can't even make basic decisions about your life. And this is not like you're controlling things. This is more like you have to be natural. So you have to tell your family that, look, I don't feel like getting married right now, or the person I want to get married to, he's not available for marriage right now, or I just simply feel that, you know, I can take some more time. I'm pretty independent and I look fine. It's not like I'm, you know, like in my grave, or I'm just 90 years old or something, that I won't get a man. In fact, I have seen even crazier things. I have seen people 70 years old, people 75, 80 also get married to the person who they always wanted to be with. So things can happen anytime, miracles can happen anytime, but you have to be sure about yourself, you know. You can't be like sitting with the calendar and crossing the days out, that these many days have gone by. Now I should be in the union. Why is the union not happening? So the union is not happening because you have certain types of demands or expectations. And there was another channel message which said expectations always hurt people, you know. It's not nice to have so many expectations, especially in the twin flame journey. Then one of the most important thing is you have to stop literally worrying so much about things, about life also in general. My masters have taught me one thing, that don't let worry, because in Hindi the word worry means chinta, and the word consciousness means chit. Okay, so they say that don't let even a line or a dot of worry or chinta to appear on your chitta, or the consciousness. So surrender also means that you're going to stop worrying about how things will happen. There are so many people who trouble you, annoy you, trigger you. You have to literally drop them right there. You don't have to carry them to your workspace, or to your house, or to your alone time, to your private space, because those people, they don't deserve it. Like, you know, like you have this person, somebody is a narc in your house or in your family life, and that person is always up to creating some kind of commotion. They're making other people fight, or they're bringing in negativity. They're always negative. They never think they are wrong or right, or things like that. Sorry, not wrong. They never think that they are wrong, but they're always right. So, and you always feel that they always get things done their way, or you always feel that other people are against you. So you have to drop these types of notions as well, because they also fall under the lacks and limitations, the blocks, you know. And I always tell people, I have said this previously also, I'm going to say it again as well, that these things, they are skills. Patience is a skill. Surrender is a skill. And they don't come to you in one day. And that's why I said it's also a gradual process. You're going to start surrendering today, and after 6 months, you'll be in a much better position. Some of you have a lot of patience. Some of you have great amount of patience. You're waiting. I see a lot of people have been waiting for 6 years, 7 years, 10 years. Okay, this will work, this will work. They are waiting very patiently, but then that patience, it lacks faith, it lacks belief. Believing and then knowing that it will happen, that is faith. It's not blind faith, but it is real faith. It's not like you're superstitious. So when people, they say that I've been so patient, I've been waiting for 5 years, 4 years. Yeah, but if you're patient, then you won't be actually saying that I've been waiting for 4 years or 5 years. You would have achieved so much in those 4 years or 5 years. If you're literally actually practicing surrender, you're going to be a completely different person. You'll be so abundant, you'll be so relaxed, you'll be so happy. It doesn't really matter even at that time, because physically you would see a lot of things change around you, a lot of validation you'll receive. Feelings, it's the feelings. Like I said, all those people in the very beginning of this channeling, I had said that when you're in union energies, you know it. Even when it starts, you know it. You know it, you feel it. You are there. You don't have to be like, oh, when is my union? When is my union? When is my union? So on this note, I would be closing this channeling, and I would like to say that Twin Flame journey is a beautiful experience. I know a lot of you would totally disagree. And that's fine. Even I have said it in many other channelings that Twin Flame journey is very hard. It could be very hard, but it's a beautiful journey, because the change it brings in your life, the things it teaches you, the lessons you learn, they just uplift you. They just make you a better version of you. So from that perspective, it's really worth it. It's really worth to be in this journey. On that note, I'm going to be closing this channeling session. Thank you so much for being here with me. One love and peace out.